Orlando Sentinel sports callers Mike Bianchi here with Orlando Sentinel UCF beat writer Shane. We are at the Blake Bortles official draft party at the Oviedo Ale House in Oviedo, Florida. Blake Bortles' hometown. Shannon, this place is unbelievable.
Oh yeah. You know what's crazy is that at 5:30, 30 minutes before this event kicked off, the parking lot was completely packed. So fans have been coming out tonight to support. It's crazy, it's wild, and they are all about Blake Bortles tonight.
I gotta tell you, I was the same way. I got here like an hour ago. The draft is not gonna start for another hour, and I had to drive over to find a spot in the grass. Oviedo High, UCF, I mean, they're in their Oviedo High School t-shirts, they're in their UCF jerseys. They are really taking great pride here in Oviedo with Blake Bortles being drafted tonight. Anywhere from the number 1 pick to we don't know where. He could go all the way down to number 20 to the Arizona Cardinals. We don't know where Blake Bortles is going to be picked tonight, but I got to tell you, this is a great night for UCF.
Absolutely. I think that this is such a big moment for UCF because when you think about what they did in the Fiesta Bowl, winning on the West Coast, basically they put out their brand to an entire section of the country that may not have heard of UCF before. It's funny, I was talking to one of the assistant baseball coaches yesterday, Ryan Klosterman, and he said that he believes Blake Bortles actually helped the school in the sense of their baseball recruiting has gotten better. Now they can talk to kids on a completely different side of the country that didn't even know who they were, and it's all thanks to Blake Bortles. So this moment is bigger than just Oviedo. It's bigger than Blake Bortles. It's for the school. It's for the brand of UCF, and it just shows the evolution and this wild journey that they've been on for the past couple of years. So big moment.
I'm going to say something that might surprise you. I think Blake Bortles right now is doing more for UCF by not coming back for his senior year than he did if he had come back, because all the exposure you talked about, all the hype, all the build-up leading up to this NFL draft, the pro day at UCF where, 3 networks were covering that live, talking about UCF football, talking about George O'Leary's program. That has done more for UCF's program than maybe the Fiesta Bowl.
Absolutely. I mean, me personally, I'm an advocate of if it's your time to go, you go. You don't go back for the 4th year just to say, hey, I went back to school and got my degree. You can always go back to school and get your degree. So the iron was hot. He needed to strike, and it was the right move and the right time for him to go. Obviously, this is a big moment. I don't know where he's going to go. I hate making draft picks because you know what? They can go anywhere. He could be number 1. He could be number 8. He could be number 20. We don't know. So this is wild.
If he were to go number 1, and that's obviously a long shot, but Bill O'Brien is the coach of the Houston Texans. Bill O'Brien saw Blake Bortles in person this year. Blake Bortles went up to Penn State, beat Bill O'Brien's Penn State team. Bill O'Brien obviously close to George O'Leary. George O'Leary's his mentor. I wonder if Bill O'Brien's putting out a smoke screen. Maybe he'll move down a little bit, take Blake Bortles number 6 or something like that.
You never know. There's so many games that are being played during the NFL draft. This is every year, and this is why I said I absolutely hate making draft picks, because you never know what backroom deals are being made, what trades they're making, how they're shifting their positions. We really don't know. I mean, even with Jadeveon Clowney, there's been a lot of talk about his work ethic, and teams are a little bit cautious of him. But then again, he's this once-in-a-lifetime player. He's 6'6", defensive end. I mean, how do you pass up on this guy? So we really don't know. There's just so many question marks.
I see Coach Wes Allen, head coach of the Oviedo Lions.
Come on down.
Is here. Coach, how you doing? Why don't you step in here? Yeah.
Good.
Coach, obviously you coached Blake Bortles in high school. The turnout for this event is unbelievable. What does this mean to Oviedo to have Blake Bortles being drafted tonight?
Well, it's a great thing for Oviedo because the kind of guy he is, the character he has. A couple weeks ago, last week, he was out talking to the team, and he said, my message to y'all is real simple. If you've got a dream, follow that dream. Work as hard as you can. Don't worry about the things you can't control. Focus on the things you can control, and your dreams can come true. And, tonight Blake is going to realize his boyhood dream that all of guys had who played football. We all wanted to go to the NFL, and Blake's going to get that opportunity tonight.
How close-knit is the Oviedo community?
It's still a small town, you know. I mean, we're a big city, kind of a big city, right outside of Orlando, but you know, where I'm from, it's a huge city. But you know, it's a close group. Everybody knows each other. Everybody loves Blake. You know, everybody wants the best for each other in this community, and Blake kind of is a product of who this community is. Hardworking people who want the best for each other and always try to do the right things. And you know, it's awesome to have Blake kind of as our ambassador right now, especially tonight, for our great town we live in. And you know, like I said, it's still kind of a hometown feel around here.
Now, how much credit are you taking for Blake Bortles being drafted? Like, come on, Coach, it's all you, right?
No, it's definitely not me. You know, Blake came to us as a linebacker and running back, and we put him at quarterback. He worked as hard as anybody I've ever seen to develop himself into a college quarterback. And then the gains he made at UCF, we've all seen. You know, it's phenomenal with Coach Tapp and Coach O'Leary, Coach Calabrese, you know, who played with Blake. He coached for us here. He's back over at UCF now. But, you know, the growth that he made there and really dedicating his life to football and making sure that he was mentally prepared as well as physically prepared is where he is today. That's why he's there tonight.
Coach Wes Allen.
Oh, wait, let me jump in.
I got a couple more questions too. I was just reintroducing Coach Wes Allen, Oviedo High School Lions head coach. Coach, take us back to high school real quick. Why wasn't Blake recruited by the quote-unquote big-time schools?
That's the second biggest question of the night. The first is, where's he going? The second was, Coach, why is he not, you know, why was he recruited so low? And I don't have an answer. You know, every coach I've talked to, what was it? Tell us what it is, and Blake will fix it, you know, and, well, he's our number 2 guy, or, you know, there's just something else we're waiting on. And it's funny now because the year after Blake went to UCF and played that year, was kind of a split-time guy, everybody came back in the spring and said, Coach, is there any way he's going to transfer? Is there any way he can graduate early and come to us? And, you know, recruiting's not a perfect science. There's mistakes made every day. And I think it was just a mistake on some people's part. He ended up at a great university. He ended up at exactly where he should be, and playing that style of offense has prepared him for what lies ahead.
Now, I've heard the theory that you guys played a Delaware wing tee offense, and that's one reason that the college scouts didn't know that would transfer to big-time college football.
Right. His sophomore year, we were in the Delaware wing tee stuff. I took over his junior year as a head coach. Our coach ahead of me moved on to administration. When I took over, we had Blake. We had a good group of receivers, so we opened it up, went 4 and 5 wide, let him throw the ball around. Then his senior year kind of stayed with that theory some, but ran him more. Because Blake's a kid in high school where if you ran him early and had him some contact, he was going to play better that night.
Shani, you have some questions?
I sure do. Question is, what team do you think would fit his style best in the NFL?
I said it one more time. I couldn't hear you because of the crowd.
What team do you think would fit his style best in the NFL?
Well, I think that going to somewhere like Minnesota with the good running game there, where he can manage the game, hand the ball off. Anybody who's going to be a run-oriented, big-time run game to start off with is really going to help him. Anywhere he goes is going to be great. And it's not college. He doesn't get that choice. They get the choice. So wherever he goes is going to be good. But a team that's going to not make him be the guy to start with, kind of bring him along with the run game support and have good people around him. I think he's going to be successful in any system he goes into because I know how hard he's going to work. I know how hard he's going to compete. So I think he'll be successful anywhere, but we'll see what happens tonight.
And what kind of leader did you see in Blake Bortles when he was in high school?
He was the captain since his sophomore year. Now, you got to remember, he wasn't the starting quarterback his sophomore year. He was a defensive back halfway through the season. He became the starter. But he was the captain sophomore, junior, senior year. Great leader on and off the field. Did the right things in the classroom. Did the right things off the field, in the weight room, and obviously on the field. Blake was always, a level-headed kid. He never got too high. He never got too low. Got excited when things went good for the team. It wasn't ever about Blake. It was always about, Coach, I want to make this team the best it can be. And I think the kids responded to that, and they really bought into the team aspect because our leader was pushing that part of that.
And the most important question, have you had the Blake Burger?
I have not had the Blake Burger at Townhouse in Oviedo. I will have it, I'm sure, but I have yet to have it. I've been on a diet trying to lose some weight.
All right, thank you so much, Coach.
Coach, one last thing. You talked about Blake not being recruited by some of the big-time schools. He said that fueled him and helped make him the player he is today. I mean, he's played with a chip on his shoulder. Have you seen that?
I have, yeah, and you know, anytime, every kid wants to go to the big school. And now UCF's a big school. And he's really, that program, he's helped them grow, I think. And the Fiesta Bowl win obviously blew him up. But I think he did play with a little chip on his shoulder because of that. And it was kind of that deal where I'm going to do everything I can to be the best player here. But when I play you, here it comes. You're going to get my best shot every Saturday.
Coach, last thing to wrap it up. Hometown kid, NFL draft. Just sort of wrap up the emotions of what it means to you, Oviedo High School, to have Blake Bortles represent.
Well, we're all so proud of Blake, you know, not only because of football, but like I said earlier, because of who he is off the field. He hasn't changed. You know, he calls me and it's, hey, Coach, can I do this? Blake, you can call me Wes now. It's okay. No, you're Coach. You know, can I come up and throw on the field with your receivers? Is that okay? And it's just such a joy to have a guy like that with the great personality, with the great character, you know, to represent our town. It's amazing. You couldn't ask for a better guy to do it.
Coach Wes Allen, the Oviedo High School Lions head coach, coach of Blake Bortles in high school. Coach, we appreciate your time.
Thank y'all.
Yeah. We have some Cleveland Brown. Let's get some Cleveland Browns fans over here. Come on camera here. Do you guys think the Browns are the... Step in here. Do you guys think the Browns are going to draft Blake Bortles?
We're hoping for it.
Really?
Most people in Cleveland want Manziel, but we're all for Blake.
You guys would rather have Blake than Manziel?
Absolutely.
What about...
Of course, it's Oviedo.
Do you guys know Blake?
No, we don't. We're from Cleveland.
Oh, you're from Cleveland?
Yeah, we just moved here a couple years ago.
Gotcha. What if the Jaguars beat you to Blake though?
Then I'm going to want Sammy Watkins.
Okay. Thanks a lot, girls.
You're welcome.
I gotta tell you. Who are you a fan of?
I'm a fan of Blake Bortles.
You're a fan of Blake Bortles.
Yes, I am.
But
yes.
no fan of a professional team.
Oh, we're Saints fans. We are Saints fans.
Well,
so it's Saints fans. Yeah.
Who
that nation? But no, Blake Bortles. Yes.
And you're from Oviedo?
Well, yes. We live in Winter Springs, which is just across the line.
What's this whole event? What's Blake Bortles being drafted tonight? What's that mean to this area?
Well, it's incredible because my son went to school with Blake and then my daughter went to school with Colby. So both kids have got an association with them. And then I teach at Jackson Heights Middle School, which is right down the road. So yesterday morning, his mom and him were on Good Morning America. So we showed all the kids it this morning and just said, this is history being made. This is Oviedo. And hopefully they'll say Oviedo right, no, not Oviedo or whatever they're going to say. But hopefully they'll get it right. But it's just history being made. And then he gave such a good presentation on Good Morning America. And the kids are just like, oh my gosh, you know, maybe my dreams could come true too. It's wonderful. It's just wonderful.
Thank you. Have fun tonight.
Okay, all right.
There you have it. We are live from the official Blake Bortles draft party. I'm Mike Bianchi, sports columnist of the Orlando Sentinel. She's Shannon Owens, UCF beat writer for the Orlando Sentinel. Shannon, last word about this event. I mean, I did not expect this sort of turnout. I knew Blake Bortles was popular, but we've got people coming from all over the city here.
Yeah, I'm not surprised. I mean, this is a huge moment for Oviedo, for Central Florida, for the school, for the brand of UCF. He could potentially be the highest draft pick to ever come out of UCF, higher than the number 11 pick, Dante Culpepper, from years ago. Ironically, if he gets picked at number 8 by the Minnesota Vikings, how weird would that be?
Dante's number 8.
No, Dante was number 11. Number 11. I
think he was 8 at UCF, maybe.
Maybe.
I'm not sure. I'm not sure about that. Don't hold me that. We need to check that. Yeah. But yeah, Dante Culpepper was drafted number 11.
He was drafted by the Minnesota Vikings, and how weird would that be if he got drafted by Minnesota as well?
Yeah, hopefully Blake Bortles, though, will stay off those love boats in Minnesota.
That was just a hater moment. That was so unnecessary. Leave it to Bianchi to throw in a shade moment, but...
Shannon Owens, Mike Bianchi. We are live at the Blake Bortles official draft party. This has been OrlandoSentinel.com.
Perfect.